Good morning.
Hello everyone, it's your hostess, with the mostest DevoSD with another episode of the Steam Backlog, where I try out every game in my Steam library from A to Z to see if they are worthy to play again or not. I give each game I play 1 hour to impress me, which I then rate on a scale from 1 to 10 on how likely I am to return to the game in the future. Last episode we went through all 3 Amnesia games, which now brings us to our next game. Among Us is a game I have not played for years now, and funny enough, after checking my overall playtime, it was just over 3 hours. And that's after playing more for this video. Back when I first tried Among Us, I could never get into it, even with a large group of friends, so has things changed in the past 4 years that would change the way I feel about this game? Well, let's just start with the positives. Basic but iconic character designs, a distinct art style, and a simple control scheme that all put together will let this game age gracefully for years to come. The way Among Us plays is similar to Town of Salem, where there is a murderer hiding amongst your team, and the only goal is to figure out who that murderer is and vote to kill him off, while the murderer's goal is to straight up just kill everyone. It's very basic in concept, but when you add the fact that everyone doesn't trust each other, since no one really knows who is who, it adds that extra layer of gameplay to the detective genre. When I first played Among Us, I remember the game being very bare bones. Not much to do besides play the game. You could buy a couple cosmetics, but even that was very limited as well. Now, there is 2 different game modes to play, Classic Mode, which is the main gameplay loop of Among Us, and then the newer Hide-and-Seek mode, which, well, the title explains itself. The devs also added in an in-game store where you can buy a plethora of items with 2 different kinds of currencies. Now, hear me out on this one. You have the premium currency called Stars, which thematically makes sense given the game's set in space. Take a guess what the regular currency is called. Beans. You earn Birdie Bots every motherfucking flavored beans.
A lot. Earwax.
At the end of every game, to buy yourself a derpy-looking party hat and a pair of shades. I'm assuming it's in reference of the bean shape of the characters, but it comes off as just being unique for unique sake, even if it looks dumb. The actual minute-to-minute gameplay has not changed since I've last played, which, for me personally, just bores me to no end. I just kinda wind up doing tasks until I die, or everyone else figures out who the murderer is and we vote them off. Now, ultimately, does this game warrant me coming back again? No. Absolutely not. The game made some good quality of life changes throughout the years, but even now, the way the game plays just turns me off. It's a 1 out of 10 for me. Man, I remember Ape Out in my wish list for so long. This game was made by 4 people. One of them, a lot of people may have heard of. His name, Bennett Foddy, which, if the name doesn't ring a bell, then maybe his games do. QWOP and Getting Over It. 2 very unique games that I played the hell out of when I discovered them for myself. So when I heard that he worked on Ape Out, my curiosity was instantly piqued. While I'm only supposed to give each game an hour of my time to play, I couldn't put this game down. I couldn't put this game down so much to the point that I finished the game in one sitting. Granted, it's a very short game, only maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that's including side content, but either way, these devs were cooking. I want to give a special shout out to Matt Botch, who worked on the music system and sound design for this game. Ape Out has a jazz theme to it, which sounds weird for angry, rampaging gorilla game. Gorillas! Gorillas! But it fits so well when actually put in practice. All the music is top tier, and even when you kill enemies, they splat with this big cymbal sound accompanying it, making the gameplay inherently affect the music in its own weird way. It's something I don't really remember experiencing before, and I'm gonna feel like Todd Howard for saying this, but it just works.
And one of the great things about having a fully dynamic game engine is all of this just works. And then you run wires that connect them all, and again, it just works.
This game is the reason I started this series. I use these videos as a way to stop wasting my money and try new things that I simply already have. I'm ashamed that I haven't played this game sooner. Ape Out is really that good. I'm not even going to explain how the game works. I'd rather just advise you to please pick up and play this game right now. Don't even finish the video. Come back once you've bought and played this game. It deserves all its flowers. Ape Out gets a 10 out of 10, given I've already gone back to this game to finish all its side content. Mr. Foddy, you never cease to amaze me. Excellent job.
My name's Grady. That is your inspection desk. You are a product inspector. You think your job is bad? Well, your job is bad.
Aperture Desk Job is a tech demo created by Valve to showcase the capabilities of their handheld powerhouse, the Steam Deck. Given this is a tech demo, it didn't even take an hour to beat this. Now, that's all fine and well, but how is the game? Well, it is a damn trip, I can say that much. You think that when you're stuck playing a game as a toilet inspector that you're going to hear just the most lowest common denominator when it comes to toilet humor, but this is Valve we're talking about here. And not just that, this is a spin-off of Portal, a series known for its writing. When attempting to play this, I tried linking my Steam Deck to the PC so I could get the proper experience while recording, but I simply couldn't get it to function properly, which for me is per usual.
Green, what's your problem, Green? What is your problem? Missile alone ramp.
So, I wound up using the alternate recommended PS4 controller instead for this video, which, to my surprise, the controller worked pretty flawlessly throughout my experience, which is obviously great knowing you don't even need to purchase a Steam Deck to play this game in a series that you might have been a fan of for the past almost 20 years. Aperture Desk Job has mainly two speaking characters. They are voiced by Nate Bargatze and J.K. Simmons. Yes, that J.K. Simmons.
You serious?
These two carry this demo on their back with ease. Now, while the storytelling may be good, I do want to say that I think this demo has some very glaring flaws, and before you raise your pitchforks, just please hear me out on this one. I felt like Aperture Desk Job was mostly just press a couple buttons or hold them down just to make sure they work. They didn't really showcase the touchscreen, gyro controls, or microphone much. Mind you, they did show they existed, but in one specific instance each, which, while none of these features aren't brand new for gaming hardware, it felt like they could have done way more to showcase what the Steam Deck could do, or at least give their more uncommon features of the device a little more time to shine in different ways. not just to show their customers what their new console is capable of, but also maybe inspire developers to use certain features in unique ways that they otherwise didn't even realize possible. Valve has always been known as innovators, so for a tech demo, I expected innovation to be shown. This game doesn't feel like it's trying to sell me the Steam Deck or showcase what I spent my money on. Aperture Desk Job is an incredibly written, funny, on-rail shooter at most. If you are someone who wants to consume any bit of story these guys release, then absolutely play this game, especially since it's free. Otherwise, I'd argue it's a hard pass for a Steam Deck tech demo, since again, this really doesn't show much in that regard. I give this a 0 out of 10 due to Aperture Desk Job's lack of gameplay and ultimately its lack of replayability. For those waiting to get a Steam Deck before playing this game, genuinely don't worry about it. Just grab a controller and play this on desktop or just watch it on YouTube.
I think he might be a millionaire recluse now, so be ready for that. There might be a lot of jars. Hello, Mr. Johnson? Let's just go in.
Death is inevitable. It's calling you.
Did your weapon malfunction? Or did you?
High five? Boom! Kodai Squad wins again.
Their deaths still carry honor.
Poor bastards.
Check out the loot. They left Gibraltar.
Apex Legends. Honestly, what is there to say about this game that hasn't been talked about before? This game is what I like to call my comfort food, but also my abusive relationship. Like all live service games, this game has many free updates that changes the game in both small and large ways to bring players back again and again. It's what makes live service games special, but there is always a silver lining. This game tries so hard to squeeze every ounce of money from you possible. They need money, of course, to keep the game running, but it becomes very predatory. Gambling mechanics and collection events either keep players from getting what they actually want or preying on people's anxiety of missing out on the skins that may never appear again. It's a shame, really, because this game is really near and dear to my heart.
First of all, congratulations.
Electronic Arts.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to...
Make Apex Legends an online casino.
Money.
I've played Apex since its launch, which has been more than 5 years ago now. I may take a break, whether it's a few months, maybe a year, but I always come back. It's because the way this game plays just feels so right, so smooth. Nothing about Apex feels clunky. Respawn was made up of former devs from the original Infinity Ward team, the original masterminds behind Call of Duty, and it shows. Whether it's running, jumping, wall hopping, slide jumping, there's just so much movement tech in Apex that it feels never ending. It's like the game can never truly be mastered because I always feel like someone will find not a new way to play, but simply a new way to move. But even when I say that, do understand that it is not like the guns don't feel good too. Hitting your target has good punchy sound effects, smooth responsive recoil, snipers have that nice bullet drop that feels so rewarding when you hit your mark at far distances. This game just feels so goddamn rewarding. Apex also has a large roster of characters that are ever growing, all boasting unique abilities to give everyone their own way to play. Apex Legends is a battle royale, making each life you have feel precious. You can't just simply respawn when you die, unless your teammates get lucky. It makes what you do have gravity. It's a true to form last man standing, and when you manage to get that rare win once in a while, it always feels earned. So while there may be rapid cheating, super predatory microtransactions, and at times lackluster updates, there has never been a game that plays like Apex for me. 10 out of 10, I know I'll be back one day, old friend, but P.S. I hate you. Archblade is a 3D fighting game based off a novel by the same name. Archblade was crowdfunded on Indiegogo and launched exclusively on PC and never made a console release. I instantly ran into trouble when booting this one up, given this game has been long dead. I thought maybe this would be like an Aftermath situation, which is a game I tried to play in my first episode of the series, but couldn't due to the servers closing down. Fortunately, I was able to get them up and running by going through Archblade's Steam discussion page, which brought me to this person right here. Placebo has a pinned post in the page where they explain how to bypass the infinite loading screen due to the closed down server to the game. After changing some launch options and throwing a small file into the Archblade folder, and voila, I now had a working Archblade. Now that I had that all cleared up, it came down to what I was able to play. Mind you, while I did bypass the infinite loading screen, it's not like these servers are thriving at all given it's really old, unsupported, and takes a few hoops just to play. So at the end of the day, all I was able to play was the tutorial and go into the training mode to try out all the characters. When playing the tutorial, I can say it was nothing crazy, mainly just straight to the point, showing how the game works. It's a game played using mouse and keyboard where you have light and heavy attacks, a block button, and a few abilities to use, which are all unique to each character to help differentiate them. Otherwise, the combo lists are mostly all the same. They just come out differently depending on who you are, which makes the game a little more easier for the new players to pick up and learn. Doing a little bit of research, this game can be played either one-on-one or also with teams. I wasn't able to play in an actual game environment, even against bots, so honestly, that's all I have to say about this game. Archblade gets a 0 out of 10. This is the second time now that I was simply just too late to actually give it a chance. Thanks for watching. Gotta win, fucking winning. Hold the band, not an inspector, not an inspector. Pull your balls out and tell me so.